The call came while I was still cleaning blood from my hands. Not enemy blood, just mine. A torn knuckle from training. "Lieutenant," the sheriff's voice cracked across 1,000 miles. "A biker gang burned down your family's farmhouse. Your father and mother, they didn't make it." The room went still. My fellow soldiers looked at me, waiting. I didn't move. Grief didn't come, not yet. Only calculation. My captain broke the silence. 72 hours of compassionate leave. Do what you have to do. I nodded. The gang had 30 members. I had 72 hours. That gave me just over 2 hours per man. When I landed back home, the air smelled like smoke and ash. The farmhouse was gone, reduced to a black skeleton on scorched soil. The sheriff met me at the ruins. His face was tight, avoiding my eyes. They call themselves Iron Sons. Drugs, guns, women. Locals are terrified. Nobody talks. They own this town. I stared at the ground where my parents once stood. My mother's kitchen. My father's worn-out chair. Gone. 30 men. And still, something felt wrong. The fire hadn't been just rage. It had been precise. Windows smashed. Entrances blocked. Gasoline spread where escape would be impossible. This wasn't wild vengeance. It was execution. Someone gave the order. Someone made it personal. That meant betrayal. I didn't storm in, guns blazing. That wasn't my way. I started with silence. Observation. I watched the bars they drank in, the trucks they drove, the women who lingered at their tables. I followed the tattoos inked across their skin, every patch, every symbol. But one thing gnawed at me. My father. He'd once run supplies for some of these men, decades back. Small favors, debts, survival. But he'd cut ties. Proud of it. He told me more than once, "You don't shake hands with devils and expect clean fingers." So why target him now? At night, I went through what was left in the house. The safe was untouched, jewelry still in drawers. But one file was missing: my father's records, bank slips, land deeds. The gang hadn't burned this place for fun. They burned it to erase something. When I checked property transfers, the truth bled through. 2 weeks ago, a contract was signed. My parents had been fighting in court against a development company. A deal for land, the same land our house stood on. And the signature on the opposing side was my wife. The paper shook in my hand, not from weakness, from rage held still too long. She hadn't just signed against my parents. She'd partnered with the same company that bankrolled the Iron Sons. I didn't confront her immediately. I waited. That evening, I walked into our kitchen. She was at the counter, pouring wine, smiling, casual, like my world hadn't burned to the ground. I set the file down between us, the signed contracts, the transfers. Her signature looped in black ink. Her smile died. Color drained. I can explain." I said nothing. Her words tumbled frantic. "They offered money, security. I didn't think they'd—" She stopped herself, but it was already too late. She knew. She'd always known. And in that silence, she realized I hadn't come home to grieve. I'd come home to calculate. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't throw things. That wasn't my revenge. I simply leaned closer, my words like glass cutting the air. They didn't just burn a house. They burned the people who raised me. And you held the match. Tears welled. Her hands trembled on the glass stem. "Please." I slid the documents across the counter. "Every name, every number, every tie you made. I've already handed it to the sheriff. And federal agents." Her face broke. "No, your friends will turn on you first. The gang doesn't protect liabilities." I watched the panic settle in, the realization she was cornered, not by guns, by truth. I didn't stay to hear her beg. I walked out, leaving her to drown in the trap she built herself. The farmhouse was gone. My parents, too. But in the ashes, I found clarity. Betrayal doesn't always come from enemies with knives. Sometimes it comes from the hand you trusted most. The Iron Sons would tear themselves apart now. No loyalty survives exposure. And my wife? She would learn that power gained through fire only leaves you with smoke. I didn't feel pity or loss, only silence. A silence sharper than grief, colder than rage. I'd counted the hours. 30 men, 1 wife, and I still had time left. Some things don't need bullets to kill. They just need the truth, delivered at the right hour.